Hi guys, welcome back. This is module 4, and in this particular module I'll be showing you how to build a corporate site. So when I describe these different kind of sites that we build, it's not necessarily because it takes a different process to build them, but they are based on purpose. If I'm about to build something like what I have on my page, which is Uber's landing page, it takes a different kind of technique to build this from when I want to build a blog. In building a blog, like I showed you in the other video, is just to set up your page and then start publishing articles, and the site does the rest. But for a corporate site, it is something that you build once and really don't have to update, except publishing article on your blog page. So the thing is, corporate sites typically also have a blog section where you can write articles and share knowledge. So I'm going to get down to it, and by going to my WordPress dashboard. So here I am back in WordPress. What I'm going to do, I'm going to set a new page for it because I will be building that page from scratch. Even though I have taught you how to edit a page, but I would rather build this one from scratch so that you also have that flexibility to edit any template. So I'll say click on new. Let me drink some water. All right, so I'm re-clicking this new, a page. What I want to create is I want to add a new page to my site. All right, here I am. See what it's showing me. It assumes I want to publish an article, but no, I just want to go to WpBakery page builder. All right, so here I am. On my new page, I'm going to call this Uber sample, and I'm going to choose backend editor. All right, so here I am. I have a page. Look at the URL of my page, food.zina.chimdi.com, which is my root domain, /Uber sample. That's the page name. In case you want to change the name of the page, you can easily do that as well. Maybe you just want to leave it as Uber to make it short. So that's how you customize your URL, okay? Oh yeah, it's showing Uber too because I have an Uber page already. All right, before me is the back end view of our page builder. This particular page builder is called WpBakery. Here is it. And the way it works is we pretty much pick a block. Let's see a block as a block. You know, if you want to build a wall, you have different blocks, same blocks. You just carry it and place it wherever you want. In this case, our blocks are slightly different. They are different things. There is a block for text, for image, for anything. Whatever you need, you carry and drop and build. So on my page right now, I can see the Uber page. You know, it has this plain background. It has this headline, go anywhere with Uber, and 2 buttons, and then an image on the right. And that forms the first section. So let's try to replicate the same. First thing we'll add is our row. So add element, add row. There it is. On our row, at the top here, you can customize how you want the row to be sectioned. If you notice, when I hover on this, it has like a space in between. This one is also broken into 2, but one section is wider than the other. This is 3 columns, but that's not really what I want. I'm looking for this particular one because I want my content to be centralized and have some space. So I'm going to click on this, and as you can see, it has broken that row into 3. I have this column by my left, 1 in the middle, and 1 on the right. So all my content, I will try to fit them in here. All right, so what do I want to do next? I would also want to break this column into 2. Yeah, so what I'm going to do, I will click on this and add row, right? So I've made this section a row. Then I'm going to break this into 2. The reason why I know this and I can do it because I've done this page before, so I know exactly what to do, but just follow the same process and you will understand as I go on. So to my left, the first thing I want to add is this headline that says go anywhere with Uber. So I'll click on that, click on plus. Here are my elements. I can add a single image, a text, a blog, a responsive text, anything at all. I'm looking for a headline. Let me search for headline. All right, I'm going to choose custom heading. I want to add a customized headline to this page. All right, so text, this is where my customized headline goes. So let me replace this with go anywhere with Uber. Element tag, which means what kind of tag is it? Each one is the biggest in size. That's headline 1. Text align, check. This is left, so yeah, left. You don't need to put the font size except if H1 is not enough when you preview it. All right. Use theme default font family. Yeah, I just want to, and if you want to select a particular theme, you can choose from all the list. There's a lot of them here, so but I'll choose this and go on. All right, also let me add to the right, okay, beneath this we add 2 buttons. If you notice, there are 2 buttons. See, ride with Uber, drive with Uber. So I'm going to prepend to this column, which means I want to add another thing to this particular column. And for that, I'm looking for a button. Button is also an element here. Button should be at the top. All right, I just prefer to search. All right, button, good. Text, which means what's the text that you want the button to have? Ride with Uber. Size, let's say medium. And so this pretty much are for setup, and you'll see how they work. And then I'm going to add another one, another button that says drive with Uber, and I'm also going to use medium. Next is I want to add an image to the right here. So I'll go back to my page editor, but you will notice that I'm adding that to my right side because from the arrangement the image is on the right. Here is it, single image. I just want to add a single image. So I already downloaded some of the images, all the images on that Uber page, so I'll be using the exact same images to help us get a good feel. So here's that picture, and I'm gonna set image. All right, save changes. With this done, we can now take a look at what we've done so far by saying preview. Look at that. Go anywhere with Uber and look at our buttons. But if you notice, a few things look different. Here's our first, their section is black, ours is currently white, and then their headline and the spacing, our spacing definitely needs work. So the buttons are joined together. There needs to be some spacing between this button and the this. And then if you notice, their go anywhere with Uber is somehow centralized to the image. See, it didn't start from the top. So how do we do that? That's where what we call margin padding comes in. That's pretty much spacing. It's a matter of spacing now. The first thing we would do is I'm going to apply a spacing to this entire column, right? If you notice, there are so many edit buttons. There's one here, there's another one at the top. Let me explain what that means. Whatever edit I make to this place, it affects everything in the row. So for example, if I add spacing to this row, it would add that spacing to everywhere here. What did I do? Sorry. It will add that spacing everywhere here. Enough talk. Let me just show you. All right, so I'm going to add this to this column. I want to add some margin to the top. All right, so you can see margin. Also, when you notice, it says margin and then they have 3 columns here, which means margin for desktop view, this is for tablet, and this is for phone. So you can customize the margin you want to add for each mobile platform or each platform. But we are working on web right now. I'm gonna add 150. This is 250. 150 px to the top. Let me save that, and to the right here I'll click on preview. You can preview as many times as you need. Look at that. So this section has been shifted down, and at least it looks quite centralized to the picture. Okay, the next thing is I want to add some space in between this headline and these two text. So for that, I will apply it to either this guy or this guy. I just need to tell this guy that add some space under you so that whatever content follows will be pushed down. So let me add under the custom headline. For that, I would switch to the top here that says design option, which is where you can customize some things. All right, see the design option. You will notice there's switch space, say margin, border, padding, and for margin it has this, white angles and 4 sides. This means stop. This means right, add margin, left, add margin, bottom. Where I want to add the margin is bottom, and I will add 30. In case you wonder why is it not going here, that will be padding, which you would understand as you go on. All right, so let's preview again and see whether our spacing works. All right, so you can see this guy is a bit spaced. All right, so I'm not going to be so much of a perfectionist here, but typically you want to make sure that every spacing, every detailing is done well. I'll add a space to this guy too, so that there's some space in between them. I'll add to any of them. I just need to tell, particularly this one on the left, to say add some margin to your right. So I'll look for add margin right. Let me add like 15. In case you're wondering how do I know what would work, you would have to test that for sure. Sometimes I still add and then it's not enough. Oh, I've updated, sorry. I was meant to just preview, but no lele. All right, so you see. The next thing we're just going to do here is now to add black to this column background. And for that, all right, come on. All right. So I was saying the next thing I want to do is to add a black background to this row. So for that, I'm going to apply whatever edit I'm doing will be on the entire row, because everything in that row must sit on the black. So edit this row, and waiting for it to load. All right, see, there's a section here that says background. That should be the place I'm dealing with. In case you wonder again, how do I know where to go? And let me warn you here. You may buy a different template tomorrow with all these differences, with all these sections looking different, which is why you need to know what you are trying to do, so that it doesn't matter what that theme calls their own background, for example. You just know that I want to edit the background here, and you will start finding it. It takes some time to master it, but hopefully this lifts you up in the bit. So here is background color, and you can see it's currently on white, so I just want to set it to black. And one other thing is I'll come back to general. Okay, good. Text color. You notice when I added the text, I didn't have to select anything, it just chose black. That's because this setting's already set that the text color, any text in that row should by default show as black. So now that we're switching our background to black, we need to ensure our text color is light, so that it just does the magic. And one other thing I'm going to do is, let me save this first and preview. All right, so here we are. Can you see? But you will notice something here as well, which is our black background does not extend to the full screen. So there's a reason why. I didn't touch that because I wanted you to notice the difference. That's because our row is fixed in a container, kind of. Load. All right, good. So you can see structure, under structure, it says type in container. So what we're going to do is full width background. All right, full width background, and click on save, then preview. See? So now we have our, oh, what's going on? Oh, okay, wait. Did I apply this to all the pages? All right, we'll figure this out. Let me try full width content and see. I just wanted to apply to that section. Okay, I guess this part was already black. Let's back it up a bit and see. Was that section black before in container preview? Okay, good. So that section was already black because I was wondering why everything, because it should not have applied to all the sections on the page. So this part is already preset as black. All right, makes sense. These are just some of the things that, you know, let me say you battle with. So I'm going to run back to full width background, and then, but this, before I come back to that, you will notice that on this particular page there's a bit of space, you know, at the bottom before the background. So it's like a, you know, the image doesn't just end on the background, unlike ours. Let me preview ours. Ours ended right on the background. So we need to add some, you know, spice. Yeah, look at it at the top, for example. It just ends there. That should not be the case. So what I want to do is I want to add some padding to this row. You know, initially I added margin. So let me now show you what padding does. Padding, I will add padding, let me say 30 to the top and 30 to the bottom. Yeah, 30. I'm not adding a margin now. You'll see what that is. Can you see? So padding is like you are telling this background to just expand itself. It's a space inside a content. Meanwhile, margin is a space outside. Don't worry about the English. If you try one, it doesn't do what you want, try the other one. That's the best explanation that you can get, because it honestly can feel confusing. All right, so first section done. Yay! See what we have here, right? Looking pretty, just like, oh, this is the old page, just like ours. I think ours even looks nicer. I like the slim fonts. I left this, but I can just show you how to change the colors if you want. Button. So let's look. All right, can you see button color? You know, you can just, okay, yeah, these are already preset colors. If you want to choose a different color, just, you know, let me say I want to choose white. I'll just, you know, change that, and that would affect. But you can see now that my text is white, so I need to also switch my text to be black for that button. Let's find where that is. Button text color override. So you see, I need to just maybe choose black, and that should be fine. Simple. So to build the rest of the page, it's pretty much this same technique, and this, guys, is how you build any page. If you notice, this page, for example, is one has an image on the right, a headline to the left, and two buttons, and the second one now has an image to the left, a headline to the right, some description at the bottom, and then a button, a call to action. So if I'm to do this, for example, it doesn't make sense to start redesigning everything all over again. What I can just do is to clone this row, that's like duplicate it, okay? And what I can do then is, in this case, I'll just move my image left to this side, and then move my headline right, and move the button under it. I need only one button here, although they had two, but I'll just leave one. Also, they had this description under their headline, so I'll copy that and add another element here so that I just arrange it. So I'm looking for a text block. That's what we call a text block or a text box. All right, so I'm texting mine. All right, text block. But the arrangement, this way arrangement comes in. The headline first, body copy next. So I'm just gonna move this guy to the middle like this. And don't forget, because this section now has a light background, it's not dark, so I need to also change that before I preview. You don't need to be previewing every time. Do as much as you can first. So I'll switch this back to white, and then I'll go to general. Remember that thing we switched, which is the text color. I'm gonna make it dark, and yeah, so preview. Let's see what we got. Oh, okay, something's going on. All right. I wish this is interactive. I wanted to ask, can you tell me what's going on? That's because I added, remember I added something to this row. I added a padding, a margin to it. That was to shift this guy to the middle. And because I've changed the images now, it's still applicable. So what I need to do now is just to switch that. Can you see? So all I need to do now is to just switch that. Let me delete that margin I added. All right, so let me just delete that margin. But I suspect that I might need the same here. Do I? Yeah, I might need some margin here. But let's preview it first of all and see how well it balances. Okay, see? Which means I need some margin here so that this text can, come to the middle. Let me apply that to this place. I think 100 should do, or like 70. You're going to have to just try, no top. Let me apply 70. That should do it. And then I notice this button is white background, so it's not allowing it to show. I need to switch it to black background and alternate the text. Is this fun? I hope you can say it's fun. Button color override, choose black background, text color, okay, yeah, button text color, choose white, and good, save, preview. Voila, look at our site coming up. Isn't that sweet? And it's the same way you build this. In case you're wondering, okay, how can you enter this kind of a location? Now, this site by Uber is definitely custom built, which means they coded it from the scratch. Your template may not have something like enter destination. It won't even likely, unless you find a ride-hailing template. Maybe they would already include this in it. But so what you can do in this case is you can find a plugin that allows you to embed here, which we will not touch at the moment. But pretty much this is to further help you get grounded in how to build a page on WordPress using page builders. They work in different ways. The other time, what I showed you was, let me publish, which means you want it to go live. The initial time, what I showed you was the front page, front end edit, which means we were seeing the changes made live. Let me go back to that place. If I click on front end editor now, you'll be seeing the content live. But this is better for you to plan and arrange your stuff. Okay. All right, so you see, maybe if you started with that, you can then switch to this place, but I just feel like it's better to work with backend editor. It kind of trains your mind. Also, you can structure whatever you want and preview this. Also, your browser might just give you a lot of trouble. So you get so yeah, that's how you build a corporate site. It comes in different shapes and sizes. Let me show you another site that we built in class, which is food.zinadamchidi.com, I believe. All right, Here's another sample of a site. The techniques are not different. In this case, what we did was just to create a row, as you should know, and then centralize a headline, put a headline in between. We dumped an image here. I said dumped, yeah, literally. And then we added, just like this is similar to the arrangement for Uber. And most sites would always look like this. Let me just randomly Google a Nigerian site like Oando, or let me say an NPC website. You would likely see that there's not going to be much that you can build. Okay, this part, for example, this is the slider. Look at them. They have, this text here. You know how to add a text now. This thing is what we call a counter. Your templates would typically have that too. Let's go to edit page, and then there's this section. So there's just so much to do around this. The first way you should approach building a corporate site is get the right template. Once you get a template that already looks like what you want, you have minor edits to do. In fact, what I've just shown you now, which is how to build from scratch, is more advanced, because even if you don't have a template, you can literally build a site and arrange your thing. How much more when you have a template? You just need to make minimal edits. So that's how you build corporate site. To recap, first thing is find the perfect template, download it, unpack, install the parent theme, install the child theme, install the plugins required to make that theme work, and then customize your menu, which is how many pages you want it to have, and then start going page by page and editing based on the content that your client has provided you. I hope you really learned from here. So your task after this site is this same website, Uber. Look at the URL, uber.ng/ng/English is what I want you to rebuild as well, using this same theme. This theme has been sent to the WhatsApp group. It's called Salient. In case you can't find it, just ping us on the group, and then we would, maybe reshare or retarget. Use this same template and let me know how your experience goes. If you have a question, drop it on this LMS platform, or you drop it on the group within the time frame of the course. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful time.